about this, and we are so Christmassy, aren't we, Catherine? Hello,
Yeah,
Catherine.
the reindeer.
Yay! So I'm going to be wearing a different Christmas jumper all week. This is my husband's one. And Catherine, do you want to read it to everyone? Because I can't read it. It's fancy.
It looks like it says, "I am your father, Christmas." Is that Darth Vader?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so this is an exciting week. It's the first week of December, and we are talking about 5 golden rings. So every single day we've got a different 5. We've got the wonderful Catherine with us today, who is going to be talking about, Catherine.
Well, I thought 5 LinkedIn searches might be useful. I mean, I guess a little obvious for me, but hey, why not?
And I love it. I've got my pen and paper all ready for the 5 LinkedIn searches. So fire away. Let's talk about LinkedIn search number 1, Catherine.
Okay, well, I'm going to try sharing my screen, see if that works. Let me know. Can you see
Yes.
LinkedIn?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. Hopefully you can see that lovely post from Angela there. That just luckily came up at the top of my stream this morning. So our first search is actually something really, really simple, but not everyone realizes you can do it. If you click in the search box, if you don't type anything, you just hit return, you get this like blank search, and that's search number 1, because I find this ridiculously useful because I don't always want to put a keyword into my search. Sometimes I just want to use the filters. And so as you can see, there's lots of different ways that we can search LinkedIn along the top here. And really all this search is doing is just giving you a selection of stuff. So if you just search for a keyword, it will give you people, company, posts. It will give you a whole like mixture of things. But by starting with a blank search, you can really access information on LinkedIn without sort of coloring it with a keyword. You can just use all the filters and pre-filled stuff on people's profiles to get down to some useful information.
I love that, Catherine. And we haven't said hello to everyone who's with us. So hello to everyone. And we've had Charlotte say good morning and happy time zones. So can the rest of you all put hello in the chat so we know you're there, and also put in the chat, yes, I have done a blank search, or no, I've never done one before and I'm going to try it. So that's a great one. So give me an example, Catherine. I'm a bit confused. If I went to LinkedIn, when would it be beneficial for me to do a blank search? Why would I do that one?
That's a great question. And I think it's going to roll into search number 2, which is searching for people by company. So quite often we're searching for people on LinkedIn, let's be honest. So let's make this a people search by using that filter at the top of the page. Now, if I would use this a lot. So if I'm sourcing, I usually have a list of target companies that I'm interested in, and I would usually search them one at a time so that I can really get a feel for, okay, have I found the relevant people in this organization? Because just running a broad search, sometimes you can miss people from, an obvious competitor or sort of relevant organization without really realizing. But probably one of the most basic reasons I would use this would be to search the company that I actually work at. So for example, when a few years ago I did a contract with Expedia Group. So I'm going to pick on them because they're a nice big company. But you can do this with any company, but I'd recommend doing it with the company you actually work at, because those are your easiest connections and the best place to start building your LinkedIn network. So now I've got a list of people who work for that company. Now I might say I'm more interested in one location than another. I might say I'm actually more interested in people in the United Kingdom. They're the people that I want to work with, which obviously takes our list down a bit. And then I'd say, if I'm trying to grow my network at this company, what would be useful is to know who is my second degree connection. So someone who's connected to somebody I'm connected to. So this list of 261 people would be people I would look at and say, okay, if I want to grow my network at this company, these would probably be some of my first go-to people to try and connect with. And 261, that's not too many. I can work through that in a few days, looking at who I might want to connect to. Or I could even say, well, actually, because, you know, I offer sourcing training and things, I might decide I want to put a keyword in the search box at this stage and say, actually, I want people who are, you know, something to do with talent or recruitment. Or if I'm a recruiter in tech, I might say, well, what I actually want is people who mention a particular programming language. So at this point, I could put a keyword in our search box and see what comes back. I've put in Java for, you know, Java developers are always in demand, right? So if I was a tech recruiter, I might be interested in them. So now I'm looking at going, okay, 72 people, that's even more manageable. This is kind of my target list for building my network within this company. But equally, you know, so you can do that at target companies. You can do that at your own company as well to help you just network internally, make the most of the network of your colleagues. I mean, our colleagues are recruiters, right? So we're going to be well-connected people. We should be. So actually connecting to each other is one of the most powerful things that we can do.
Good. Brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant advice. And so we've said we're going to say hello to Vanessa. Hello all. Vanessa says, Roisin, yes, you've done a blank search, which is great, Roisin. And Donovan says, greetings all. So I want you to put in the chat whether or not you've done this search before. And then how does that connect back to the blank search?
So I feel like this search, I feel like I'm catching everything without being too influenced by keywords, because LinkedIn isn't that sophisticated of a beast when it comes to the keywords that we put in. If I type in Java, it will literally look for that word. It doesn't really know about any synonyms or anything like that. It's not as helpful as a tool like Google, which we might be used to searching.
Is that me or you, Katharine? Not sure if that's me or you, Katharine. Does everyone want to put in the chat? Is that me or Katharine? Hello.
We'll just get to do a quick refresh.
Is that Katharine or us?
That was Katharine.
Okay, so I will keep talking then. I wasn't sure. It was Katharine. Thanks, Roisin. Okay, so I'm intrigued by these searches. So how many of you actually do the company searches? Katharine has to move house. How many of you actually do the company searches? I wish she was here because I'm not great on searching on LinkedIn. So any other searches that you all do on LinkedIn that are really, really powerful? And in the meantime, I'm going to message Katharine and say, can you come back on? Okay. Put on in the chat if any other searches that you do on LinkedIn. Get back on. So tomorrow we have got Alan, who is going to be looking at 5 different calls. And then on Wednesday, we've got Rebecca, who is going to be looking at 5 books. And then on Thursday, we've got Antonio, and Antonio is a guest, and he's going to be looking at 5 tips for meetings. And then on Friday, we've got everyone, as many coaches we can get, because we want 5 different coaches, but we're probably going to get more than 5 different coaches, we're hoping. And as we all know, any of you who know Alex Moyle, it is Alex Moyle's birthday today, the lovely Alex who started the recruiting gym. So if you do know Alex, do reach out to Alex and say happy birthday, because he is wonderful and he deserves a big shout out for his birthday. Recruiting Gym has said 5 cool old rings, not? Thanks, Alan. Recruiting Gym says the most searching I do is to find the coaches and guests for the daily workout or for participants. This is all brand new information to me. It is really to me as well. We always learn something new from Katharine every time we do, and I wish she wasn't cut off. That is such a pity she's cut off. We've got Vanessa and Alan there. Sing it, Claire. What do I need to sing? The 5 golden rings? No way. Have you heard my singing? Have any of you heard of Choir, Choir, Choir? They came to Bristol and I had the best night. They're these 2 Canadian guys And what they do is they get the whole audience up and singing as a choir, and they put you in your part. So if you were there that night, Alan, you would not ask me to sing. All my friends were we were all laughing at each other, actually. It wasn't just me. I love singing, but I'm not really the best singer, but I love a choir. Okay, I don't know if Katharine's going to come back on. So anyone else got any other searching tips? She's rejoining in 2 minutes, so hold on, everyone. Katharine will be back with us, and I'm not singing in the meantime. So Alex Moyle's birthday, I don't know how he's celebrating, but everybody please reach out to Alex. That would be absolutely brilliant. And here is Katharine. Are you there? Katharine, she's coming. She's warming up. Oh my goodness. Is she going to join us? Fingers crossed, everyone. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's have a look. What do you reckon?
I don't know if it's working yet.
I don't know if it's working. She hasn't replied to me.
It's not a daily workout with a few tech problems, or without a few tech problems, is it?
Well, actually, I did very well last week on Thursday. I think it's the first day in ages there haven't been tech problems.
Yeah.
I just want to know more about this. If it was 5 calls or 5 books, I could have just taken the show and told you all about my own books. But I don't really know much about searching on LinkedIn, so I do apologise, everyone.
No, I don't either. What kind of searches do you do on LinkedIn though? Like, is it just searching for?
So I search for people in HR, training managers, the big companies. That's the main ones I do. Gotta love live stuff. Back to the bad singing thing, Claire. No, I'm not doing Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, even though I know all the words. So I do search, and I was going to ask Katharine about searching certain job titles and how to do that, because I feel like I don't do it very well. But so that would be a great tip if Katharine came back on. So otherwise we might need to redo this another time, mightn't we, before Christmas, so that we all get it. What do you think, Charlotte?
I reckon so. We'll give her another minute.
Yeah,
if not, we'll come back and we'll do this next time. Right, we could even brush up on it on Friday.
I was thinking that. And what about you? What sort of searches do you do?
Mine's mainly just I'm looking for guests for the daily workout. I'm grabbing their pictures to put on the thumbnails, so I can tag them in marketing materials. I make sure I'm connected with all of the guests.
Yeah.
And networking. I connect with a lot of marketing people as well. So that's kind of
what are
it.
The key words that you use when you're searching then, Charlotte?
I look for marketing manager is kind of what I'm searching for when I'm trying to network for people in the kind of the same job title as myself. And you can narrow it down by company, and you can narrow it down by country. Oh,
my back.
I'm just filling in there, Katharine.
Did you hear me?
Alan was trying to get me to sing, but there's no way in the world anyone would want that. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions, and shall we go on for another 5 minutes? Is that okay with everyone if we go on for another 5 minutes? Because I think this is really, really, really important information.
Yeah, so take it away, ladies. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, did you want to ask me questions, or did you want me to move on to search number 3?
Search number 3, and then we'll get on to the questions after search for 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, let me go back to sharing my screen. Hopefully this will work. And I'm going to take us back again out to LinkedIn and restart a search. So again, another search starting from a blank slate. And this time I want to search companies. So a company search, this has sort of come and gone from LinkedIn a few times, whether or not we could search companies well. So you used to be able to search companies like this. Then they sort of took a lot of the filters away and just allowed you to search based on keywords. But really, unless a word was in the name of the company, that wasn't really coming up. And you couldn't do much filtering by location and things like that. So it wasn't that useful if you were using it and you didn't already know the company you were looking for. But now the filters are back, making it much more useful again. So I suppose this would be useful for me if I'm, building a target list of potential clients or a target list of organizations where candidates might work, things like that. So you can pick a location. You can say, oh, I really want to get some more business in, London or somewhere else, maybe, Bristol. That's where you live, isn't it, Claire?
Yes.
So I want to get some more business in Bristol. I want clients in the staffing and recruiting industry, and I want companies to be, this size, 50 to 200 employees. So that gives me 57 companies to, look at, to follow, to, dig into who their people are, that kind of thing. So it's quite a nice way to build yourself a little target list without, too much fuss. So yeah, that's another type of search that I would do quite often. Particularly if you're in a new industry and you don't necessarily know all the movers and shakers, things like that. So, or you just think you might have missed something. It can be good to see what LinkedIn's got in the way of company pages.
So for me, I would have done Bristol, then companies in the size, but I want to find HR directors or training managers. How do I do that?
So that's your people search then. So I suppose what I would probably do is say, well, let's actually, open up one of these companies. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Now, we used to be able to quickly link to a people search from every company page, but that's not quite as easy as it used to be. We can sort of rifle through the people and do a bit of filtering. Although LinkedIn's moving quite slowly today. So we can look at all sorts of, it gives us a list of the people at the company, and we can also sort of use some filters to look through them as well. So we could say, okay, who's in HR?
Yep.
And then it would give us a list. It's not always, going to put the most senior person at the top. Thank you, LinkedIn. Probably the better way to run this search would be to actually go back into a people search and select, Ivona, if that's how we pronounce it, as our company, and use the filters to search HR director in the job title field.
Okay.
So yeah, you could just take the companies on this list one at a time and just work through them looking for their HR people.
Great. Thank you. So that's tip number 3.
Yeah, if you had a tool like LinkedIn Recruiter or Sales Navigator, you could kind of splice the two searches together and say, I want people with this job title who work in, companies of this size in this location and all that kind of stuff. Whereas you don't really get those filters together in the free version of LinkedIn.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Katharine. Now, number 4.
Number 4. Yeah. So this again takes us to a part of LinkedIn. We're not going to start with a blank search this time. This is something that, I'm not going to say I came up with it, but it's something that I started using because I had a client who wanted to find HR people, funnily enough, but they wanted to find Polish-speaking HR people in London. And we're struggling. And I thought, well, that can't be that rare. But I think the problem was people weren't actually putting that information on their LinkedIn profile. They weren't saying I'm fluent in Polish or adding it as a language that they could speak in the sort of languages section on the LinkedIn profile. So it was hard to actually get down and find the people. So what I thought was, well, okay, if you studied at a university in Poland, like for example, oh, okay, I've gone a bit too specific there. I just want the main University of Warsaw. Schools. See, searching to begin with keywords. So you studied at an educational establishment in Poland. My thought is you can probably speak reasonable Polish, or you are Polish. So if we look at the alumni of this university and ask ourselves, well, okay, we've got, you know, a nice number of people there to search. Who is currently, you know, where do they live? Who is currently living in the United Kingdom? So we can use these filters and say, okay, well, there are 3,500 alumni from the University of Warsaw currently living in London. And then we can go through these filters and say, oh, what do they do? So does any of these work in human resources? Yes, 182.
Wow.
So then we've got our list of 182 alumni from the University of Warsaw who now work in human resources in did I filter by London or UK?
Yeah, you did filter by London.
Just UK. So I could be more specific. I could go down to London.
Yep.
And then I've got fewer people. But yeah, this search as well, if you're using the free version of LinkedIn, this searching like this through the alumni section of a school page or the people section of a company page isn't as limited by the commercial search limit. So you're less likely to get cut off searching in this way. The way you see the search results isn't as friendly and the filters aren't as, you know, wide ranging, but and it's not as easy to see at a glance who might be relevant. But yeah, it's a way of sort of getting around that search cap and searching for free.
Brilliant. Love it. That's absolutely brilliant. So number 5.
Yep, last one. So for this one, I'm going to bring us out to Google. I know I said it was going to be LinkedIn searches, but hey ho, here we go. So this one is like for cross-referencing people. So you find that HR director and you think, yeah, I'm going to send a message, see if we can do business together. But first you're thinking, actually, there's not a lot of info here on this LinkedIn profile. I want to find out more about this person first. Yeah. But when you search for their name on Google, name and company, perhaps LinkedIn is coming up a lot. That'll happen for a lot of people. You know, you and me, we probably do quite a lot on the internet. There's probably quite a lot of stuff out there to be found. But most, you know, normal people, you know, LinkedIn is going to rank pretty high for them. And, you know, potentially even pages where, you know, they're just mentioned by someone else or in someone else's also viewed section are going to rank better than, you know, all the stuff on any other thing on another website. So if I found someone on LinkedIn, I'll often run a search for their name. So for example, have I spelled Clare right?
I can't see it from here. Is it Clare?
Yes.
You've done it without an I. Great. And Davis without an E. Brilliant.
I'm going to, and then so I've put in your name. I've put in something about what you do. So I put Clare Davis mental health, and then I'm going to use the minus sign to take out site linkedin.com. So that's saying I want to know information about Clare Davis, who's an expert in mental health, but I don't want to see any information from LinkedIn. So now we can see information from Nova Associates, your company homepage. We can see a Twitter account, the A to Z of mental health on Amazon. So I've now got a lot of really good information that I won't have seen before, all about you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it that I've added there to my normal keywords, just like person's name and company name usually, or person's name and their industry, or something about what they do. The bit that I've added to that, I'm going to pop in the chat. It's just minus sitelinkedin.com. So you can take away any website that you don't want to see. So whatever is coloring your search results, you can just get rid of it by using the minus sign in front of site and then the domain name you don't want. So wherever you found a candidate, if you know you've already seen that information, so when you go out to cross-reference them with Google, you can just take the website that you've already seen out of the equation.
That is brilliant. Thank you so much, Katharine. So let's quickly summarize the 5 points. Number 1 is the blank search. Number 2 is the
searching people by company.
By company. Yep. Number 3 is company by
just filtering companies to get yourself a little target list.
Great. Number 4.
Number 4 was using either the alumni or the people section on a LinkedIn page to search for people.
Love it. And number 5 is Google and do the minus site LinkedIn.com. Love it. That is brilliant. And thank you, Roisin, for staying till the end, and anyone else who stayed till the end.
Yeah, sorry for the disconnection. I don't know whether that was me and my internet.
Who knows?
Who
Who
knows?
knows? Maybe you need to get a new house.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, working on it.
Well, I can't wait to interview Alan tomorrow. So, Alan, wear one of your Christmas jumpers. I know it's Christmas jumper day Thursday, but I think we should all wear one of our Christmas jumpers this week. I'm going to wear the whole house worth of Christmas jumpers by the time the end of the week comes. So, can't wait. Thank you very much, Katharine. And on to information.
Thanks, everyone, for sticking with us as well.
Thank you for staying on. Take care. Bye.